Excuse me, can I speak with your manager, please? Huh?
There's napkins there.
No, can I speak with your manager?
Huh?
The manager.
Oh, the manager?
Excuse me. First of all, they spelled my name wrong. It's Babatunde, not Babatunde.
Oh, but it's yours, right? It's no problem. You can take that one. Thank you.
And also, another thing, why do you change your policy before you let people use the bathroom without having to buy food first?
Oh, it's a new policy. I'm so sorry about that.
And
It's
the
a
other-
new policy. I'm so sorry. We don't make the policy. It's a new CEO coming out. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but you never used to do that. And the third thing was, I was already first in line, and he allowed another person get before me. And he lied to me that the person had already paid. The person didn't pay before.
Since we have to you have to make a purchase. Like that's a policy. You have to make a purchase first, and then we have to give the code. Like if you're in a line, that doesn't really matter. I'm so sorry. Like,
No,
you
so,
have to buy.
I was ahead of somebody, but he allowed the person to order ahead of me.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, you could do it. Like if you have order.
No, you don't
ahead,
understand what I'm saying. I felt discriminated against. I was ahead of the white lady. I was next in line, but the white lady behind me, he told her to order before me. You don't do that.
I'm not sure if that's what happened. I will ask him.
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
who take the order. I will tell him about that. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I will talk with him about that.
Okay, just save that's the video camera.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, save it. I'm reporting to New York City
Yeah, I'm so
Department
sorry
of
that
Human
happened
Rights.
to you. I will have him talk with him.
Okay, save your video records also. I'm reporting to the state authority. Okay. And what's your name?
What is it?
What's your name?
It's Stella.
Stella, and what's his name?
It's gonna be Bavon, but I will have a talk with him. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I will mention it. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. That's not nice. Okay. We used to let all the white people go use the bathroom first before making a purchase. Why they keep changing the rules on me? And and it made me wait and wait and wait. This white lady was ahead of me. She ordered a lot of stuff with a friend. Fine. I waited and waited and waited. I almost messed up my time. Then he told another white person to come ahead of me and order. I'm like, no, this white person just got here. And he lied to me. He was like, yes, she already paid previously. Yeah, and she didn't pay previously. She brought her credit card out and started paying. The white lady was laughing. I looked, oh wow, even blacks are discriminating against other blacks. So at one point, black American kids started to pick me up in front of the store also. I was sitting over there, and the kids came with their scooter. Apparently I was so tired, I laid down, and like an inheritance scam group. They monitor me. They have a black American inheritance scam group that's affiliated with my mother's daughter. My mother's daughter's part of a narcotic gang. So they believe that just like my mother's daughters killed her and stole all her stuff. My mother said they were into life insurance policy fraud. Me and my mother was suing the NYPD at the time because the NYPD took me and my mother to Almost Island. So this group affiliated with my mother's daughters, they believe if they can kill me, and I guess the whole point of trying to send the little kids to attack me was I was laying down over here on this chair. I was so tired, I was carrying my heavy bags, and I felt so tired. And so I lay down on the chair, and they sent these little kids with their scooter, to almost hit me in my head. So I ran away. I was so scared. And I ran away. I went into that store. I said, please, can you help me call the police? These kids are bothering me. So I'll make a purchase and everything. I said, these kids will just leave me alone. They said, no, go back outside. Go back outside. Don't come to the store. I'm like, I'm your customer. I always come here to buy food. I'm just laying down here. So these kids are bothering me. And at that time, this guy had just been killed. What's his name? Jordan Neely. And some black Americans are saying, we're going to kill Jordan Neely. Any opportunity to. If any bad thing happens to a black American, this group would attack me. So I was laying down here. This kid brought a scooter and was trying to hit me in the head. And I ran here also. There was an African guy here, who sounded like he was from Ghana. I said, sir, can you please call 911? Look, these kids are trying to lynch me like Jordan Neely was lynched. And the African guy was like blocking me. Ghanaian guy. He was saying, they said, don't worry, it's cool. I'm like, excuse me, this is not cool. I'm like, so I ran to the Starbucks here. And they also go back out, go back out. I'm like, look, there's some kids are trying to let me. Those kids follow me into the Starbucks. This is North Broadway and Wall Street. I'm like saying, this is not cool at all. But you say, Then I ran to the New York Law School here, and the one worker there, the Black American worker, said, go back outside. I normally come here a lot, and I felt like it was like a conspiracy. I normally come here a lot and lay down here. Anytime I'm tired, And then they brought this kid to try to hit me with a scooter. I'm not saying, get away from me, you kids. I was recording them. And one of them said, fuck your mother. And the little kid kept saying, fuck your mother. I was like, this is very interesting. Why would a little kid specifically, mention my mother's name? Because my mother's daughters know I'm very close to my mother. They know I'm not close to my father because I was applying for asylum in America based on my father abusing me. So, and this is how I knew, these kids, somebody, the person that sent them to kill me is affiliated with my mother's daughters, because my mother was telling her daughters are trying to kill her. They never said fuck your father, they said fuck your mother. And I know I was more close, so they were trying to trigger me, and there were two of those kids. And they've been using Black American kids to harass me. Then I saw the mayor come here afterwards. I ran and I asked him, sir, can you help me? He wouldn't help me. And he went into this New York Law School. And he went to this New York Law School. That was, after that incident. So you have Black Americans trying to lynch Africans, because the law has been signed that anytime two or more people try to attack somebody for whatever reason, it's a lynch. It should be declared a lynchment. And they're putting on all the signing and fights. They're in the prisons of some of the prison guard would hire gangsters to beat up their fellow prisoners. So this is what they're subjecting me to. So ever since then, when I go to that Starbucks, they started treating me more bad. So I believe from the mayor's office and the police and then I called the police on those kids, but the police arrived and they told me, and they were all covering up. They said, no, you must be the one bothering this kid. We're going to lock you up in the cycle. Said for this kid to raise their scooter and be chasing you. I said the cameras record everything. So they're all, so they're creating a conspiracy to kill Africans for money, some Black Americans, and some narcotic gang. Even some Black Americans attacked me in Brooklyn and told me they're going to be killing Africans for money because Africans sold their ancestors and they're not going to welcome Africans. As I was eating on Fulton and Frank in a restaurant there, those Black Americans I normally come to that neighborhood, and came across them at the restaurant. I said they're going to be killing Africans for me. So this camera picked it up. New York Law School camera picked it up. This year, when this Eric Adam came here, he walked past me here. I said, sir, can you please help me? And he walked past me and went into the law school. He took this door. And he's been lying. Anytime he sees the homeless, he always puts them in housing. He always helps them. Even some Black American homeless that were rendered homeless by fire last year and vacated, like I was vacated with my mother from a Bristol Republic. He put them in a term because there's a court order that says anybody that's vacated should put in a term. And I've been sending videos to this Eric Adam every day on Instagram. Sometimes they block me on Instagram, say my message is too strong. I'm just telling the truth that some Black Americans are trying to lynch Africans like a genocide. I heard these Black Americans tell me the gang that accosted me on Fulton or something. And since then, an African that's also homeless like me is on. It used to be around the 34th Street station, Harris Square station on Broadway, and 34th Street. And he had his green card and passport on him. And he said as soon as I started speaking with him, One day he fell asleep, and when he woke up, they stole his green card and passport. You know, also after they stole my green card and passport, also the police came and arrested me, threw me up, put me on the psych ward, and stole my green card and passport. You know, so for a country that's about to host the World Cup and many African countries want to come to the World Cup 2026, hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico, where they are abusing Africans, the Black Americans. They say they're going to kill Africans in reverse discrimination. Say we sold them to the whites for slavery. You know, and some kids nearly lynched me here. And so, you know, and I saw the mayor, Eric Adams, here, right here. Like, you know, it wasn't with the security detail, but they said one of his former beauty commissioner that's now in trouble being investigated for crime said, you know, this Eric Adams has spies in the FBI, and they always tell him, you know, anybody being monitored by the FBI, they always give them all the information about the person. You know, so I've been under FBI monitoring. I've been under FBI monitoring since my mother brought me here in 2000, and I was arrested by the U.S. Immigration. I used to come here 1 block away at Federal Plaza. I used to come to go to the immigration court. They said children are not allowed in America with their green card holder parents, with their parents that have green card. You know, so it's very interesting. My mother used to work at Wall Street here. So this is Wall Street, and the Wall Street is like church. So, you know, my mother used to work at Wall Street. So this tells me about it. You know, she first came to America in the 1970s. So this is what is going on. You know, yeah, it's crazy. And, you know, it's very hard to get assistance in America. Either as an African, people are trying to link for, you know, narcotic terroristic gang. They're trying to link on behalf of my mother's daughter's Balani and for her, so they can inherit any money through me, you know, or from me, or buy me, or whatever, you know, proper way to say it. So in case I get killed or I die, no family member or friend should inherit any money from my estate or administer my estate. Only civil rights activists like me should administer my estate and encourage justice for my late mother, and donate the rest of my money to the charitable contribution to those servants to the xenophobia like me and my late mother, and those being deported by Trump to prioritize. Absolutely no movie should be made about me. I'm very guarded about my image, and my mother's daughters, they always lived there for a long period of time. I never really lived with them. They were brought briefly to Nigeria, you know, at some point, you know, but I've always stayed with my mother and father for a long time in Nigeria. And even when my mother brought them to Nigeria, they went to a boarding school. They never really stayed in the house with me and my mother, you know, and sometimes my mother would go and place me elsewhere, you know. So I've never really grown up with anybody in particular for a long time, except me and my mother and my father, you know. So they wouldn't know about me. Even when immigration arrested me in 2000, said they can't let me stay with my mother because children are not allowed with their parents in America. The parents has a green card, you know. And they told me they want to return me back to Nigeria in 2000. I told them Nigeria is not safe for me because my father was abusing me. And they asked me, did I tell anybody what I was being abused? I was like, no, I'm introverted. So the record of my interview with the U.S. Immigration at the airport and at the asylum credible fair hearing you can be found in my immigration files. My immigration file number is A7795468. That is A7795468, and it's public record. Immigration records are public record. So I told the U.S. Immigration I'm an introvert. I didn't tell my mother's daughters about the time I was being abused while I was being abused in Nigeria, and the immigration officer thought it was interesting. And yeah, I don't really tell people in my story or what is going on with me. Yeah, now. So I told the U.S. immigration officer that I'm very introverted to a strong degree. Yeah, now. So this is what is going on. And I'm not looking to. Please donate to my Cash App. My Cash App is NYC Homeless. As a Nigerian homeless immigrant, I'm being abused severely. Still, I almost mess up my plan trying to use the bathroom. And my cart also, the tire was messed up. I buy this cart from the Chinese made cart, and the tire is the first to burst. I noticed a lot of Americans also, when they buy this Chinese made cart, within a week the cart is burst up. At least in my experience, within first day or 2 days or 3 days. And I tried switching the tire by changing it with an extra tire I kept with me from another cart. And I can barely push this hand truck for 2 minutes without everything displacing, the tires displacing. And there was a time I used to spend $50 a week buying carts from the 99-cent store. And at one point, even they told me, look, we can't really keep up with the orders. We appreciate your business, but we're importing them from China and they don't really arrive quickly enough. I was spending $50 a week just buying carts. And that is totally ridiculous. So the Chinese are dumping products, dilapidated products, or I don't know the right term to use. They're dumping inferior products here, and customers at the lower end that are suffering because the white people don't have to buy this cheap product. They can just go to a high-end store and buy real quality product. So it's the poor minorities that are suffering the most from the Chinese government dumping their cheap products in America. I've lived in different countries and I've never seen Chinese products this inferior. And for some reason, the American government allows them to do it. This Trump claims it's protecting America. But it's really going after the poor immigrants, like people like me. During his last administration, they stole my green card. The police arrested me, throwing me up as crazy, and they said they want that to continue. They said they should be locking up shithole homeless. They should refer to Africans as a shithole country. I brought transportation secretary. I criticized this Trump for the past 10 years. I brought transportation secretary to the subway. And they've been trying to lock me up in the psych ward just for riding the train. I've seen some black Americans get locked up already in the psych ward. On Sunday, a few days ago, I saw them locking up a black American, and I happen to know that guy. And from my interaction with him in the past, it's not crazy. I don't know his name, but I've been homeless for 15 years, so I know a lot of these homeless people. And it's not crazy. And that's how my mother's daughter killed my mother. My mother said one of them was feeding her poison with counterfeit fluid, and she came from in Pennsylvania. Bolali was doing that, and my mother came to New York to go to the hospital, and that Bolali came to the hospital 3 days later, Bellevue Hospital, without my mother telling her what hospital she's in. So my mother was wondering, like, what kind of gang is this Bolali in that they're able to find her anywhere she is in the United States? And I come to find out that criminal gangs, narcotic gangs, sometimes have spies in the FBI, or sometimes they work as witnesses for the FBI or undercover agents. This allows them to carry out their operation more. They said the FBI is very corrupt, has a lot of rogue agents. So I was under FBI surveillance from the time I was in immigration prison in 2000. I could continue that surveillance on me. So I guess for me calling my mother while she was in the hospital, they were able to spot what hospital she was in, and stuff. Or probably they put my mother under surveillance also, So this is what is going on. So please donate to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. I'm not looking for any marriage or romance scam or any romance or marriage, or I'm not trying to be part of any cult. All your donations to me should be non-conditional, humanitarian assistance only, so I can get a place to live. This mayor is leading a Black American crusade to be attacking Africans. He also sent his police to attack Africans on Canal Street, which is further down the block, like 3 or 4 blocks down. There are Africans that sell shoes and handbags, and sometimes those Africans may give me up to $40 a day when they see me. And since then, she sent his police to arrest them, knock them down, seize about $1 billion worth of their merchandise. And they said this police, when they're arresting them, I watched the video, they be calling these Africans piece of shit, piece of shit. I also, when I'm trying to use the bathroom, the police from First Prison, they'll come to Pier 25 and harass me, try to set me up. People will try to create violence against me, make all kinds of false accusations. And when I call 911, the police will arrest them. So this area has been terrorized, and this area is leading the crusade against the Africans. So this is what is going on. There's a legal aid office down here. Also, I've been trying to get the legal aid to help me because they do a lot of these police brutality cases and stuff, and housing discrimination cases. But they refuse to help me as a Nigerian. As a matter of fact, I heard something frightening that this Arukara said that the police is arresting people, in violation of the Brooklyn Federal Court order since 2013 settlement agreement flowed by the city of New York that says the targeting blacks for mass arrest and minorities is against the law. And the de Blasio administration signed the settlement agreement acknowledging they were in violation and they wouldn't do that again. But these Arukara asked the police to be in contempt of that court order and go back to mass arresting blacks for the little things. So me just being black on the subway, the police is arresting blacks for being poor and riding the train. And this comes to this is what it wants. To silence people like me that criticize him and protect me. And this Trump has been issued in Orlando. For example, he said some people are collecting benefits in America and they don't deserve to have those benefits. And he says he's going to make sure they use that benefit by diverting them somewhere else. I'm the one collecting food stamps. I'm in Nigeria collecting food stamps. And it's his last administration is saying they want to stop him from collecting food stamps. And now he said, this Arukara is helping him and the state government is helping him by putting police on the train and they can arrest you, lock you up in a psychiatric ward. You won't be able to collect your food stamp anymore, and they can just be feeding you drugs, wrongfully. And this Trump said, we're going to feed those people medicine. That's what it deserves. So they're throwing people off as crazy. This is like a genocide, medical genocide. And they have drugs that have side effects. Some of the medicine is talking about, like ketamine. Ketamine has the side effect of causing heart attack. The Canadian actor called Matthew Perry was using that drug, and they say he died of a heart attack. So this Trump is death threat, and no lawyer would help me. I used to speak out on this train, and I guess that's why they don't want me to be on the train, because I used to inform people. So please go to my Cash App, NYC Homeless. And they've been banning me from using the internet also. Like I use this phone booth over here, and one day as soon as I plug in the phone booth, my phone exploded, boom! They had increased the voltage. Since then, that phone booth doesn't work. And this Arukara came to this area. So they saw that this is one of my favorite areas, because I can use the phone booth right here. And, so anywhere they see I frequent, they will try to terroristically attack me there. I just got that phone from the food stamp office. It's a free phone for those that have food stamp. And I know they didn't even want to give me that free phone either. They were telling me, you got to supply us more information that you have food stamp. I'm like, here's my food stamp card. I said, no, the food stamp office has to write a separate letter saying you're indeed collecting food stamp. I said, this is my food stamp card. And when I applied for that food stamp card, when they gave it to me, they took my picture. And when and when they told me they're going to mail me the card with my picture in it. That was November last year. And when they mailed me the card, there wasn't my picture there. I was like, so I went to the office. I'm like, what is going on? I said, as soon as you apply for the food stamp, we'll stop putting pictures there. So this Arukara must have told them not to put pictures there. Because the police arrested me in 2019, stole my green card, stole all my ID. And I don't have any ID now. I don't want to have any ID. And soon after that, a guy took me home and raped me, because COVID started after that. After the police arrested me and locked me up in the psych ward, I was able to get out. Of the psych ward many days later. And the guy, then when the COVID came, they lock up on the bathrooms in the train stations. So a guy told me I can come to his house to use the bathroom. And when we came to his house, he said me he wants to get married right away. I told him no. And he'll rape me. I told him if I left, he was going to get his police to kill me. That he's a member of the police force and stuff. And he held me up in his Bronx apartment, was raping me and beating me up. He was from Haiti and stuff. And some people from the Caribbean don't like the Africans. You know. And until I finally called 911 and I told the police what was happening. And they told me, just leave and don't come back. I'm like, can you arrest this guy? And also I said there's a law. Cuomo signed an order that wherever you are, they call it the shelter-in-place law because of the COVID. They said wherever you are, you should be allowed to stay there. And whoever's troubling should be the one the police will arrest. Because you can't evict somebody. At that time, the housing court was shut down because of COVID. And the police said, we don't care about what Cuomo said. You are going to leave because you call and you can't take the abuse anymore. So you're going to leave and he's going to stay, but not arresting him. You know, and you know, so the police have gone rogue and they're abusing the Africans and some black Americans and Caribbeans are taking Africans also. So for the FIFA World Cup, it's not safe for Africans here. They're stealing it. My mother said they were still robbing her also because me and my mother, you know, they were abusing us in one shelter. They put like a white powder, it was like an anthrax lace powder, and me and my mother, we couldn't breathe, we had blood come from our nose in 2011. So my mother was hospitalized at Staten Island University Hospital, and she was transferred to another hospital. I was in Coney Island Hospital, and we both had preliminary blockage, and they wouldn't really diagnose us properly, they just thought it was pneumonia, you know, and they said even some people that were dying in Harlem recently, of Legionnaires, they were misdiagnosing them as pneumonia also. Until I think the health department was wondering why did 30 people die suddenly, and they were thinking maybe it's the new COVID, and they decided to exhume those people's bodies, and that's how they found out they had Legionnaires. You know, so the medical forensic care in New York City hospital is very poor, especially the government hospitals. So this was going up. Please donate to my Cash App, non-conditional humanitarian assistance only, so I can get off the street, get a place to stay. Because I'm being jumped by some black American and Caribbean type gang who says they want revenge against Africans for slavery. And under this Trump, they believe is the best time because Trump is not protecting immigrants. You know, so the city's opening and they're trying to seize it. You know, and they said they want to, you know, steal the any property that Africans have after they kill them. And my mother's daughters who are born in America are connected with that gang, you know. Or, you know, at least a narco-terrorist gang. I see my mother's daughter here also. She lives in Pennsylvania, but I've been seeing her. She stays in a hotel, 4 seasons, like a 5-star hotel, across the street from the City Corporation Council, under Church Street. There. You know, and she stays across the street from that place. And they, the City Corporation Council, are the ones that provide legal representation to police officers after they kill civilians. You know, so I don't know what, I will see her sometimes she wear all blue. Like she's urging this police to kill me and hurry up and arrest me so she can get the money as inheritance money and give it to her members of a black American gang. You know, and I saw that every guy on this street also. So I don't know what is going on this street, Church Street. You know, and my mother was a Christian, I'm a Christian also. I don't know if they're trying to kill me and claim, you know, I wanted to die and be resurrected. You know. And it's my loss. I was the one playing games with them. They say you can lie and claim somebody just because I do beg for money and they panhandle and say, you know, they may claim, you know, as part of my panhandling, I'm also into game. I'm not into game playing with anybody, you know, and I just don't know why, you know, why this Church Street is so significant to them, you know. And I noticed I try to use my phone booth in a place called Livingston Street, just to avoid Church Street. And there was some people to try to punch me. You know, there's another phone booth I use over there. You know, they don't want me to use the phone booth in Livingston. They want me to either use the phone booth here on Church Street or near where the school my mother attended. She's now killed. Long Island University. My father attended that school. Now, and I used to attend that school, Long Island University in Brooklyn, DeKalb Avenue. She's like, they want me to be using the phone booth over there. So make it look like I had a death wish. I'm part of the suicide cult. I don't have a death wish. I'm not part of any suicide cult. You know, and these people, they harass me. You know, and And I guess they don't want me to use the phone booth here because, you know, yeah, that was the time when I would use the phone booth here and some other gang members would throw garbage all over the floor, you know. So there's this guy that works for Verizon, I think it's the Verizon building, they will come and start sweeping as I'm using the phone booth, you know. So they're afraid if I keep using the phone booth on this particular place, you know, once I get killed, this gang wants to kill me. You know, the guy may sue also that look, when that person was alive, that person always threw garbage all over the floor, and you know, and make their work harder as the cleaner. You know, so any time they feel there could be any other person that would come after my stage, they would send, you know, they would violently try to erase evidence of me being in that particular location. You know, so the FBI and the Black American narcotic gang, they're putting the surveillance on me, sharing the surveillance, you know, and they hope to rob me killing. They say if you can kill somebody and make them disappear without a trace, nobody would know them, who they are. So that's the best way to kill somebody. So that, you know, anywhere they feel there's evidence that may create a future lawsuit, they will attack me violently. So I was charging my phone here, and all of a sudden my phone, boom! I said, and I saw, you know, the phone said voltage overload or something. You know, so they set up the link server phone booth here to on overcharge. You know, so here is Church Street and Wall Street, and they've not fixed that. They've not fixed that phone charger. I don't want to experiment. I'm afraid to blow up another phone, so I try to plug it. That phone charger doesn't work. That's usually, you know, somebody charging their phone. But that's what I doesn't work. That's like good. You know. Then there's another place where I normally charge my phone underneath that, where they put the green walls. And since then they went and put the green walls in front of the phone. And they don't want me charging the phone because it has a roof and people always come and dump garbage there also as I'm charging my phone. So I guess the gang is like instrumental to tell them to wall off the phone booth and tell me to charge it anymore. Anywhere, you know, anywhere people dump garbage as I'm charging my phone, the gang, the Black American gang working for my mother's daughter, would chase me away from using that phone booth. So that, you know, I guess they feel, you know, I can be easily traced to that location, even after they kill me, and people will be able to file a lawsuit against my state. So it's like, you know, while I'm alive, there are people I don't give any permission to administer my state, you know, because in case I get killed, only civil rights activists like me should administer my state. No family member or friend should administer my state. You know, and these are people trying to kill me and already planning to administer my state and remove any potential lawsuit. So they chase me out of anywhere I'm at, charging my phone. If somebody comes and dump garbage there or whatever, you know, they will violently attack me with their gang and say, you know, so I won't be able to use the phone booth there anymore. Or set up the phone booth to blow up my phone. So this is a very sophisticated cartel, and there's no way they're not promising, you know, high-ranking people bribery, you know, including their fellow rogue FBI agents, supplying them with all my surveillance information, you know, and they're misspelling my name everywhere. You know, why would the guy just misspell my name? A lot of people know how to spell my name right, Babatunde, you know, and the guy told a white woman to order ahead of him. So I believe he may be sabotaging the Star. He's a Black American worker. He's trying to sabotage Starbucks on purpose so that I could document a complaint, and then the Black American guy can kill me and then sue Starbucks. And, oh my goodness, why this person was alive? You were so mean to this person. We're suing you, Starbucks, and we'll collect the money and give to the fellow Black American. So they're engaging in some economic war and they want to use me as an immigrant pawn. So why don't we let, so they haven't, I've noticed black American workers in places like Target and Starbucks will try to abuse me. And they'll do it so plainly, like this guy, what's his, it doesn't say his ID number. Okay, I think that's ID number 15751. And he did it on purpose. It was like, I will attend to the white woman behind you. And, while the camera was recording him, and they know me that, when they discriminate against me like that, I will record it. So they're using me, they're pointing me, say, yeah, we're going to abuse you. I want you to document it, then we're going to kill you later. And the black American gang will take out the money with your mother's daughters, Bonali and Flora, and share it to the black American community. So that's the game going on. This Alvin Bragg, your office, you're the black American, you're black American also, and you're the district attorney for New York City. And I said a lot of black Americans are even attacking white. There was a case whereby a black American gangster lured a white gay guy that was visiting New York. I think that guy works for the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Office or something like that. He works for a non-profit organization, and he was visiting New York for some seminar, and he went to a gay club. The white guy was gay, and this black American guy was in the gay club also trying to, lure white gays to kill and rob. So he was hitting on this white gay guy, and the white gay guy told the black American to follow him home. I said on the way to the house, they were in a taxi, and the black American guy gave this white gay something to smoke that was laced with fentanyl, and I think the white gay either collapsed, and and the black American guy started robbing him from the cab, and even went to the house of this white guy, robbed the house, took his credit card, took the money this white guy had, and this black American guy was spending the credit card while the white guy was dead. So it's to say that there's a lot of people targeting gays to kill. And this Alvin Bragg, I don't know why he doesn't want to help me. This is a conspiracy beyond measure. Why would a guy misspell my name? I told him my name is Babatunde. Why would he spell it? Why would he think Babatunde? It's spelled like this. I wouldn't ask me for the proper spelling. I think, I've encountered that same guy before. I think he knows the right spelling of my name. He just did it on purpose. Why would you just spell my name wrong? And tell a white woman to order ahead of me, which I was ahead of her. And he lied, so he's a liar also. He told me the woman had already paid, and the woman didn't pay. And the man was just smiling and laughing. And it must be so important for a black American to mistreat another black person for her to get ahead of him. So they're doing this on purpose, and they want to do an economic sabotage. Some black Americans want to use Africans to hold us to ransom and kill us and get the money and use, abuse us in their offices. So this is economic sabotage, and and if this plan is allowed to continue, then this is going to ruin the U.S. economy. So it's like, so these black Americans want their reparation through fraud, as I said, they were stolen and brought to America. And this Eric Adams is leading the crusade, and they're trying to kill me also, because I know their secret. This is why this Eric Adams authorized the police to be mass arresting black. So this is very serious. The Black Lives Matter don't help me either. I guess they should, to benefit the black American community from killed. The Al Sharpton office don't help me either. So you Alvin Bragg, you're close to Al Sharpton, you're close to Eric Garner's family. Eric Garner was killed while he was trying to help me. And they said it's really about, according to the black American gang, they said they really don't want Africans to get nothing. They'd rather take whatever Africans have. And my mother was getting rough. She had a Canadian Social Security card. I said somebody stole it from her while she was in another shelter on Staten Island. Around 2014 before she died. And my mother was like, why would anybody steal a Canadian Social Security card? Because my mother's from Nigeria, but she used to live in Canada. So they're stealing our property. And my mother said they used to rob her. She rented the place on Staten Island also in 2014. They used to rob her. Me also, they've been robbing everything I have. There's a black American gang, trying to get reparation from robbing Africans. So it's not safe to bring Africans here for the World Cup. They're going to be targeted by this black American gang. My mother was robbed. I'm being robbed. Another African is being robbed. Was robbed of his green card and passport. There's a black American gang robbing Africans. Here in Manhattan, 34th Street, Area Square, and their white police sympathizers and Spanish and all kinds of people are joining also to make it easy to lock us Africans out. You know, the city of Canada will send white police to beat up the Africans selling stuff on Canal Street. You know, those Africans sometimes help me with like $40 a day, or, you know, when I go by begging for money. You know, so I've been bragging out to investigate this. Some black Americans are attacking people in retaliation for slavery, and we Africans are being targeted by these black Americans. So please donate to my cash app, anybody listening. Non-humanitarian, I mean, non-conditional humanitarian assistance, that's what I need. I'm not looking to marry anybody. I'm not looking for anybody to marry me and kill me as part of this black American gang or whatever, even if you're not part of the black American gang. No, I'm not looking for marriage, period. I'm not looking for friendship. I'm not looking for surrogacy arrangement. I'm not looking for to be part of any cult. I'm not looking for any master or slave relationship, any of your suspicious, anything else, anything. I'm not looking for. Just non-conditional humanitarian assistance. If you either donate to my cash app, NYC Homeless, with the dollar sign in front, or to me in person, I prefer you donate to my cash app, but I do beg for money on the street. So please, this is a very serious matter, and if in case I'm killed or I die, and nobody should do a movie about me either. I'm guarded about my image. I've been seeing some of the Hollywood stars come around me also. Or recently, I'm like, okay, what is going on? Because I beg for money, but they don't give me nothing when I beg. About these neighborhoods and stuff. So I don't know why there's so much focus on me and nobody's helping me, and some people would rather want me dead. As a form of reparation to the black American community. So this is serious. Nobody should be supporting genocide. And people should learn to address whatever grievances they have about slavery to the courts. So Eric, Alvin Bragg, you're a black American. You went to Harvard Law School. Your office is like 2 blocks. I would have come to office, but people like me, they wouldn't let me. I saw you around this neighborhood also. You wouldn't help me. In front of Washington Market Park. You are nice to your fellow black Americans, and I try to speak with you, you ignore me. In that Washington Market Park, they always call police on me try to kill me. You came there on the day, like Mother's Day. Around Mother's Day, my mother was killed also. I wouldn't help her either. She was killed in Manhattan near Bellevue Hospital. And I spoke to a security detail in was dressed with suit, and he said, I should just call 911. You don't want to talk to me, I said anytime I need to. I said I've been calling 911, the police would help me either. So I should keep calling 911 and keep going to the police station. I said when I go to the police station, they don't let me come into their precinct. They tell me to wait outside. Treat me like I have COVID. Only the whites they normally let you to their precinct. So the police had to provoke me. This is the news started. That's how they treat me. As a poor Nigerian, they treat me like a or whatever. So this is not legal,